If you are a super dickhead, having more money is going to make you even more of a dickhead. Your job is your first business partner.
If you don't learn how to master money, money will therefore master you.
A lot of people aren't getting the skills that pay. They're getting the skills that makes them feel good. So what's the biggest reasons for money problems? Why are people broke? Why people don't make enough money? Welcome to Insight with Ayo. I'm your host, Ayo Noble, and we're back again with Josh on a different topic this time. Today we're going to be talking about all things money, how money works, how to make it, and you guys are going to be in for a special treat because Josh has got a lot to say on what we can do, what we shouldn't be doing, and where we're going wrong. So thanks for coming back again, Josh.
Thanks for having me, man. Definitely appreciate it. And hopefully we can teach people how to use debt as leverage and credit to make some money. So let's get into it.
Cool. So funny thing, is money. This thing called money, literally, it divides people.
Therefore,
it makes people happy, makes people sad. When it's there, it makes people happy. When it's not there, it makes people sad.
Yeah.
You know, they say it's the number one contributing factor to stuff like divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah, money just,
it's important.
Some artists have said money makes the world go round and the pretty girls go down. So
It's
everyone
wrong.
has had something to say about money.
Yeah.
Now, one of the biggest problems here is people's perception and ideologies around money and their understanding of money.
Yeah.
If I said to you, what is money? How would you describe that?
That's a good question. What is money? Money is an exchange of value, so a lot of what we know money to be is, of course, going to be like, pounds or dollars, wherever you're from. So £100, we assume that this note or these sheets of paper or the number on the screen, whatever we've agreed, this £100 means something, and it can therefore give you the power to purchase something. So I would say it's the store of value, money.
I mean, I think I would agree. Yeah, I'll definitely say money's a tool.
Yeah.
Where people have gone wrong is that they think money is more than that. And money isn't more than that. It's just what money can do or what... Because to me, I see money as a tool and an amplifier.
Yeah.
If you are a super dickhead, having more money is going to make you even more of a dickhead.
Even more.
If you are a very good person, if you are a generous person, having more money means that you're going to be able to extend your generosity further.
Come on.
You're going to be able to do more good further. And that's the thing about money. It's who is in control of it and who has it.
Yeah.
It's not the money itself. Because, a lot of people mistake, the Bible verse that says, the love of money is the root of all evil. And they've taken out the word love and they just say, money is the root. Money isn't the root of all evil because in that moment in time when you need something, the first thing you're going to do is look for money. So money can't be evil. It's the love of money. It's the fact that, I just love money as on its own.
Yeah.
And I just want money without purpose.
Yeah.
Money without purpose is where it starts to get evil because you don't even have an intention. There's no end goal per se that you're using the money to achieve.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Definitely. Yeah, and I would even say money is good, If you use it well, then it can do good things. The issue usually going to be on the user of the money. And ideally you want to, and again, it depends on what you believe, but I believe that it's ideal to believe that it's good to love people and to use money to love people rather than loving money and using the money to, go against people's best intentions. So, it's definitely a tool. Use it well, understand it, because again, we're not taught about it. And figure out how to not let it master you. Because I think if you don't learn how to master money, money will therefore master you. And I say that in that, if, for example, if you've got no money, most job offers that come to you are going to be acceptable because you literally have nothing and you're just like, I just need to make this money and you're going to take it. But if you've got all the money in the world and someone wants to offer you, £5 an hour at this restaurant, you're going to be like, no, I don't need it. And that's what understanding, money and the power that it has, in impacting your life. So very important to understand. And unfortunately, again, it's not taught. So this is why we've got this podcast and conversation to help people understand
money.
It's important.
Now, the thing about money, is that it's very important how you make yours.
Yeah.
That right there is something that should be a key takeaway for people.
Yeah.
It's important how you make your money,
Mhm.
and it's even more, it's nearly as important the way you're paid your money. I give an example. There's how you make your money,
Yeah.
legitimately or illegitimately,
Yeah.
and then there's how you're paid your money. Whether you're paid as an employee,
Yeah.
whether you're paid as an investor.
Yeah.
So literally PAYE,
Yeah.
capital gains,
Mhm.
as a business
income, yeah, different stuff.
and then obviously as a self-employed person.
Yeah.
All those 4 quadrants, the way you receive income is very, very different. 100 grand PAYE versus 100 grand as revenue, they're 2 different forms of 100 grand.
Yeah.
And that's what I think people haven't understood. And the other thing as well that I think people really need to start doing is we need to start really working from a position of reverse engineering. What do I mean by that? I've seen too many people complain about their financial situation and what the government should be doing, isn't doing, why isn't the government paying X, Y, Z? And what you have to ask yourself is, did you not look into how things work?
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? Cool. And I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm just saying, because you need to know so that you can improve your situation.
This is it.
If you decide, right, that you want to go into a certain profession or a certain field, it makes sense for you to examine that profession and field and see what the earning potential is on average.
Yeah.
Not, you're going to take the one anomaly or the one favorable case and then, the probability isn't in your favor for you to achieve that, but you're just growing on possibility. So you see, that's the other thing. Probability over possibility. If we're all doing just what's possible, yes, it's possible, but how likely is it? How probable is it? Whereas if you do things based on how probable it is, how likely it is, you're probably more likely to get a better outcome.
Yeah.
So that being said, people have money problems because what are you doing with your 40 hours a week? The investment banker and you, do you know what I mean? The investment banker and let's say the waiter in a restaurant.
Literally.
The waiter in a restaurant is probably even working more hours.
Yep, working harder.
However, what, like you said, the value, what is the monetary exchange for that work?
Yeah.
So when I saw Myron Golden say, hey, it's easier to make $1 million in a day than it is in a month. It's easier to make $1 million in a month than it is in a year. You see, that sounds mad. Like,
it does.
What do you mean? But it's like, what you need to figure out is where are you allocating that time and that effort? What skill have you acquired? Because that's the other thing. A lot of people aren't getting the skills that pay. They're getting the skills that makes them feel good.
Yeah.
Because I've seen so many times people advise, just, study what you're passionate about. Sometimes your passions don't pay.
Yep, it's real.
Sometimes your passions don't pay. What you're better off doing is finding a valuable skill and integrating that in a way, in some way that you're passionate or where your passions come out.
Yeah.
Give an example. Let's say you are creative. Your film, you do like making content and things like that. Or, you're a filmmaker, you're a video recorder. The passion and the skill is the videography. What you're supposed to do now is turn that into something that can pay.
Therefore.
That way you've merged the two versus saying, hey, no, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna be a full-time, I'm just gonna work in JD full-time and then
do this on the side.
Yeah, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm gonna study it, but somehow I don't actually have the skill. Do you get what I'm saying?
Therefore.
Because it's like when people go to uni and study stuff like drama and these things, I always ask myself, which one of your favorite actors has a drama degree? Because that's the other thing, studying talents.
Yeah.
That I don't really ever understand. Why are you studying a talent? You already have the talent to act and all that. What you need to do is get, a skill that can maybe amplify that talent per se, rather than, get a certification for something that you're already naturally born with. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think it's the harsh reality of, obviously, all of us when we're born, we all have dreams. Even to this day, however old you are, you still have a dream that you've had from young. And I think people don't realize how much it costs to fulfill that dream or to do that thing. So let's say you can sing.
Mm-hmm.
As a young person, you don't realize how much it takes to create an album or to create a song, having to pay this person, pay that person, have cover art, do this promo. This all costs money. So unless you are born into a position where you are funded to do all these things, you have to know that you will need money to execute on these dreams. And I think that's where people go wrong, where you can have talent and skill, But if these things, for you to create that album or to go to this country or to build this business, if it needs money, then it needs money. So then your question should be, okay, cool. How can I get the money to then fulfill the dream? A lot, because again, because we're not taught about it, we don't think about, oh, this actually costs money. There's someone behind it. Like, let's say, Beyonce, Jay-Z, whoever they are. There's people behind them that work and make all these things happen. They're not a one-man band team. And again, because we're not taught, we face this harsh reality of like, oh, I can't do what I wanted to do. And then you end up doing something that you don't want to do. And when you've done it for so long, you even forget the dream you had, unfortunately, and you lose touch with that thing that used to bring you so much joy. So again, financial education, it is so important. We can't understand how important it is. It's massive.
Funnily enough, how did you start in all this, Josh? Like, what's the background? Where are you coming from to,
So for me, I was always a fan of maths, I would say. Always a big fan of maths. So yeah, I definitely did maths. I did accounting and finance in college. I did that in uni as well. So I actually was working in an accountancy firm for like 5 to 7 years, just doing accounting. And what I didn't know at the time as I was going through this whole journey of doing maths and accounting and finance, I even did economics in college. I didn't realize that I was never taught about personal finances, like how to manage my own money, how to grow my own personal wealth. And it didn't hit me until I turned, let's say like 27 or 28.
Wow.
It took me a very long time that I didn't know this. And again, I did accounting and finance. That finance was not personal finance. It was all about corporate finance, how to make them richer, how to grow their business, how to manage their shares and all this other stuff. So when it hit me, I was like, whoa, if I went this route that's very money related throughout the whole way, then that means that if I didn't learn money for myself, that means no one is taught how to manage their own personal finances. So I thought to myself, okay, cool. If that's the case, then most people are struggling financially. So if I can, first of all, figure out for myself how to better manage my own money and then teach others, hopefully we can create a change. Hopefully. So that's what just inspired me to like start creating content, talking about it. And here we are talking about credit and teach people how to better manage stuff. So it's definitely been a journey. And I think it's, again, the most important message is like, find financial education. And if you know that you've not had it for 30 years, know that you need to do more to pick up and literally binge it, watch it over and over again, ask questions. Don't be ashamed or afraid of where you are now. Just like get at it, improve it, and then you'll be fine.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And, that's what ties me back into what I was saying about reverse engineering.
Yeah.
For people that, if you're young and, you're like, let's say you're 16 to 25.
Yeah.
And like, if you're slightly older or whatever, and, you're the type of person that like, no, I actually want to make a change now.
Yeah.
What I would strongly advise is reverse engineering. What do I mean by that? The life that you want, figure out what it costs.
Yeah.
Example. If you say, do you know what? The life that I want to be able to live in this particular area, in this particular size house. First of all, find out what's the cost of that. When you find out what the cost of that is, write it down.
That's one.
Well, that's one thing. If you're someone that says, "Oh, I like to travel. I'd love to travel. Business first class."
Yeah.
Find out what it typically costs. Like, check these things. Just
Literally.
like, do you know what I mean? The information is there because a lot of people, they say stuff, but they don't even know the cost of stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're just discouraged.
Yeah.
Or they go down the wrong path because they assume it's nothing or it's this or it's that.
Yeah.
Now, in you doing that, let's say, for example, let's take an example because I was speaking to someone about this. I was speaking to a young girl and I was like, what kind of life do you want? She was like, I don't know what you mean. I was like, okay, let's start with the basics. What, like, do you envision yourself getting married? She's like, yeah, I see myself getting married. I was like, how many kids would you like to have? 2. So that's a family of 4, no problem. How, like, do you want to be financially responsible for, a massive load of the financial responsibilities in the house? Do you want to have to work, not work? Boom, boom, boom. Answered that. She's like, yeah, no, I don't mind. No problem. And I said, okay, cool. Like, what kind of house would you like to live in? Oh, maybe a 3-bed detached property. What area? Oh, this area. So then we looked at it. We saw like, okay, cool. Basically, you're saying that that's a 400-500 grand house as a result of what you've just said. So that being said, what kind of money would you need to earn to, like, what's your mortgage going to look like? Oh,
This
it'll
is
look
it.
like this. Cool. This is a 21-year-old. Because initially I asked her, how much do you think you need to earn in order to have the life that you want? She was like, oh, 50 grand. Remember, she just finished uni.
Yeah.
So she's thinking 50 grand is a lot. So then we're like, okay, let's go through it. I said, what kind of car would you like to drive? Like, ideally, I'd like to drive a Tesla. What kind of Tesla? Model Y, Model X? You're like, oh, Tesla Model X, latest, this, that, and the other. So we looked at it, and then we saw that, a Tesla Model X, you're looking at around, let's call it 100 grand, 90 to 110 between that.
Yeah.
That's already just a car.
That's one.
Then the house, 400 to 500 grand. Then she said, oh, I'd love to travel business class. I was like, would you like to what extent? Once a year? Anytime you feel like it? Twice a year? 3 times a year? She's like, let's go once a year for now. As a family of 4? She's like, yeah. So then I show her what that looks like.
Yeah.
And, I showed her, I was like, look, this is a family of 4
Yeah.
to, Dubai.
Yeah.
First class was about 20 something grand.
Yeah.
So
Big
literally, immediately, after seeing all those things, I then asked her, so how do you feel about earning
50K?
50K a year? She said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I said, there you go.
There you go.
And that's because you've actually now seen what this lifestyle that you thought would be enough actually costs. And that's what I mean by reverse engineering.
Yeah.
So from her seeing all those things, she now realized, you know what? I need to be earning either, 6 figures if I'm going to go down the employee route.
Yeah.
Or I definitely need to be earning, or maybe I need to be a business owner.
Yeah.
And actually change how I'm actually generating my income.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by reverse engineering. So when you do stuff like that, it quickly creates the path for you.
Yeah.
So when you know where you're going, when you have the destination in mind, the path will appear.
Yeah.
What do I mean by that? If you know that you want to be someone that, wants to fly first class, you want to be able to live, in any part of London of your choosing, you want to be able to afford, a significant mortgage, well, that rules out certain jobs from the beginning.
Therefore.
Again, I'm not trying to bash anyone. I'm just saying what it says on average. Do you know what I mean? The average TA, like teaching assistant, or the average, waiter doesn't earn that. So naturally, you're going to realize, okay, cool, these professions aren't going to work.
Yep.
If I want this particular lifestyle, it doesn't make sense to go into these professions.
Yep.
So it now starts to enable you to look at, okay, what skill set do I have? And what professions will actually pay what I want, and at the same time sync up with the skill set that I have.
This is it.
And that's what I mean by reverse engineering. And that's what I feel like a lot of young people don't have. They don't have someone to tell them the truth. Because personally, I think uni's a scam.
Yeah.
And I think that, apart from a certain few subjects that obviously you need to know to be able to practice, most of it is like, look, it's a scam. And a lot of people have gone to uni before us. So why didn't they tell us that, look, when you go to uni and you study this thing, trust me, you're not even going to use your degree. Nobody's even going to ask you for your certificate when you apply for jobs. All they're going to ask is, what experience do you have relevant to the role that you want to take on?
Yeah. And I think what's funny about that is, and I've heard Marion Gordon explain it, whereas like a lot of things have changed. So let's say, 10 to 15 years ago, where a degree had a certain amount of value, let's say it was worth, I don't know, 10 points, for example. It's nowhere near as valuable today as it used to be 10 to 15 years ago. So because there was no foresight for people ahead to now tell us, okay, cool, when you now go uni, the game has changed. Experience is now more important than a degree. Because we never heard that. We also went in with what they told us would work. But then when we went in and came out and we found that it wasn't as important, we were like, whoa, you lied to us. But then that's us. Even the next generation below us have even seen that this thing is not what you guys have said it is. It's so different. 80K a year is no longer that much. People are literally making that in a week or a month on the internet, which is like, if you told me that when I was at uni that you can make 80K a week on the internet, I would be thinking you're lying. It's a scam.
It's impossible.
But these people are literally, like, it's happening every single day. So the things have changed. The game has changed. And again, that's why education is so important. Because again, if you don't know someone that's operating at a certain level, if you have no, like, let's say, chains or bridge towards people at the top, you just won't know. You'd be thinking, what's going on? I can't afford this. For real. You just be wondering what's going on.
Even
honestly.
that being said, you know how they always say, you want to, you're going to be the sum of the 5 people that you hang around.
Yeah.
Now, and let's say you want to hang, you want to be the small fish in the big pond.
Yeah.
Practically speaking, everyone can say that, but it's like, okay, cool. Those people aren't going to want to hang around you. So how do you get to hang around them?
That's such a good question.
Because if everyone's working on that summation, that I'm the sum of the 5 people I hang around.
Yeah.
You, let's say the lower guy that's trying to be with the guys that you want to be like. Well, they're thinking of their averages as well. So why? Yeah, it's beneficial for you, but how is it beneficial to them?
Such a good question. So I think the truth is, in order to access different rooms, you have to pay. In most cases, you can't just get into a room without paying, unless you, I don't know, got a free ticket to an event or something like that. But usually you have to pay to get access. So that's a hurdle or block for a lot of people. The other thing that you also need to do, once you're in a room with different people, is become a valuable person. What value can you provide to someone? So if you know someone is making 100K a week, or someone's making £1 million, and this is real, £1 million a week. If you know this is the room that you're in, what value can you provide to those people? What problems do they have? What can you help them with? So this is where you're now going into the room and asking them questions about themselves. What problems do they face? What's annoying them? And if you've got a skill that can meet their problem, then, there's a reason for you to talk. There's a reason for you to, work with this person. But if you haven't worked on any of your skills, you bring nothing to the table, you're not just going to walk into a room and automatically change your contact list to, millionaires. It's just not going to happen. So you do need money, usually. But the most important thing that you can literally do practically is develop the skills to become valuable so that you can help people solve their problems. So that's the hack to do it.
So, and who's the onus on? Is the onus on you to do your research to figure out what their problem is, or is it better to go and ask? Because you get mixed. Some people will be like, "Well, you haven't done what you're supposed to do. That's why you're asking me what problem do I have. You should know what problem I have."
Do you know is probably doing both better than just doing one. So again, if you could do research before, figure out what the rich people usually have problems with, then that's a good thing. But again, because everyone is different and unique, then also ask questions to see if there's something that you can do. But again, if you can't do anything, just know that, okay, cool, I can't help you. Happy days. Don't force it. Don't try to be like awkward or weird. Like people don't like, people that are in a standout way, like very awkward. So don't try to be pushy with it. If you can help, you can. If you can't, you can't, and just keep moving to the next room. And again, I think the key thing is like keep trying until something works. A lot of people don't like to like try again. And you will find this a lot, obviously, as we both know, like in business. In business, it's all about trying until something works. And then once it works, doing it over and over and over again. Once it stops working, you find out what works next, and you just keep doing it again and again and again. And that's the game. So just trying and never giving up are the most important things to figuring out things that are gonna, I guess, change your life or change your 5 people, as they say. So yeah, man, there's no cheat code around it.
Why don't people do what they have to do? Here's what I mean by that. Most people want to change their situation. However, you need, I believe that God gives everyone, everything you have is everything you need.
Yeah.
In order to get to that next level.
Oh my goodness, definitely.
So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you're someone that's like, okay, cool, yeah, you guys are making sense. I want to change my financial situation. Let me go and get a skill. Oh, but that skill costs money. I don't have money, blah, blah, blah. Well, you do. Because how I see it is, use your current job to generate an income.
Yeah.
That's like the base level. Like, if you're not someone that's going to benefit off nepotism, if your parents haven't done stuff, for you to have money already, what everyone can do within reason, obviously not including people that have like disabilities and minus the extenuating circumstances. Yeah. Minus the people that actually can't get a job because of whatever reason.
Yeah.
Majority of people can actually find some form of employment.
Yeah.
Now, what you definitely can do is see that, and I think Storm Leroy, it's an American guy.
Yeah.
He always says
property guy, right?
Yeah, property.
Yeah.
He says your job is your first business partner. If people started viewing their job as their first business partner, you would approach it differently.
Yeah.
You go to work to get this money so that you can put this money into something that's going to free you from work.
This is it.
If you do that, yes, it will take time because obviously you only get paid once a month, every month. But over time, you'll be able to build a nice reserve, a nice bank that can actually start replacing that income.
Yeah.
Now, what are the ways you can do that? From your employment, if you go to work, you have £1,000 left every month. You could put 500 aside to say, cool, I know that I need to, get a qualification or a course that's going to give me a particular skill that eventually I can monetize. Let's say that course is 1,500. Well, you know that you're 3 months away from it.
Yeah, literally.
Now, does it come with sacrifice? Absolutely. Because see it as this. Everything is competing for your pounds or dollars, depending where you're watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. The 500 that you have, clothing is competing.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton is competing. Gucci is competing. Restaurants are competing. Games are competing. Experiences.
You name it.
So now you have to decide, you know what? The most important thing is the betterment of myself. So therefore, I'm going to forego the others to have this thing. And that's what I think a lot of people haven't realized, that no, you can actually work a 9 to 5, use that money to actually buy your freedom per se, by actually taking that money, not spending it on things that don't have an ROI, aka liabilities.
Yeah.
Every time you spend money, you should ask yourself, is this bringing back money? And if it's not bringing back money, it better be something that you can afford, to part with.
This is it.
Like, the experience, it's not bringing back money, but hey, do you know what? I could afford to spend that on that experience that I'm going to enjoy for the rest of my life or whatever.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But if you're spending on experiences, liabilities, clothes, and all these things aren't bringing money back, if you're spending a hefty amount on car finance and you don't use your car to make money, it's nothing more than a liability.
Correct.
So you need to start thinking of, right, the money that I make, how do I put that money to work? Yeah. Every pound is a soldier. Those pounds need to go work and bring back more of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's how and the question is, what method do you use? Are you going to put that money into developing yourself? So now you have a skill that commands more money.
Mm-hmm.
That's one way. Are you going to put that money into things like investments, whereby the money itself multiplies without you doing anything? Or are you going to put your money in intangible assets that now creates a cash flow, consistent money as a result of that investment? The choice is up to you.
This is it. And do you know, it's because it's fun again, it's like, again, where education is lacking, people don't even realize this whole thing of assets versus liabilities. So it's like literally an iPhone is an asset, or it's always a liability depending on how you use it.
Depending on the person.
If you use your phone for your personal use, you just take pictures and record and use it for calling people, then it's a liability. Don't see it as, it's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that it's literally not bringing cash flow to you. It's costing you money because you're going to have to pay for, the contracts or however much you're paying every single month. But if you use this iPhone to record content, to post on TikTok or Instagram, and then you therefore know how to make money from this content, then this could be an asset for you. So literally almost anything can be an asset or a liability, but it's the question of, is this asset or is this item bringing me money or is it costing me money? And that's a simple way to see it. But again, when we're not taught about it, we just buy this, buy that, and don't think about it. So unfortunately, again, education is the most important thing. Having a changed mindset is the most important thing. Knowing that what you want ideally is that when you think about money, you want to automatically think, how can I multiply this? Not how can I pay this bill or how can I buy this experience that's not going to bring me back money? And again, like you said, sacrifice is important because there will be a time where you need to be like, okay, cool, I've got this target. Ideally define it. Ideally have a number to it. And then know that, okay, every single month I'm putting away £500 towards this course so that when I get the 1.5K to pay for this course, I know the value that I'm investing into that will eventually bring back a return. But without that clear vision, without the education, without the ability to even say no as well, to say no to Louis Vuitton, to say no to the clothing website, to say no to your friends for whatever. It's not going to be easy sometimes to say no, but knowing that you're doing it for a reason. And then eventually, when you figured out this money thing, when you're making the money, when the cash flow is really flowing,
you can enjoy
you can do what you want. You can do what you want. But until then, you got to build it. And then once it's built, you won't be faking it on Instagram or pretending to live a certain life. You're going to be confident in knowing that even if someone has a certain amount of followers and they're showing all this, you can't see what's going on behind the scenes. So don't take it too much to be what it actually is. Know where you are and know where you want to go and work on yourself more than other people. I feel like that's so important. We're so distracted by other people's lives and all this and all that and all this. But the most control we have is over our own finances, not over someone else's finances. So again, perception, just correcting our mindset is key.
No,
So
you're
important.
spot on, especially in my line of work. Trust me, social media is not real. I'll tell you that for free.
Yeah,
Social
it's not.
media is not real.
It's scary how it creates perceptions that are just not real. It's scary. It's worrying. I think we think of like young people as well, whereas like where they were just brought into this and they're just seeing this on and they're like whoa 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 and they can't like stop looking and stop hearing that this is. It's like boy for them it's hard, but again ideally we can educate them and show them that you got to take things for with a pinch of salt because you just never know.
Yeah, literally,
Just
you
never
don't,
know.
you don't. And what other money misconceptions do people have? Where are people going wrong with money?
With money, one thing I want to talk about is budgeting. I feel like budgeting is so important. And I like to see, I like to talk about it like in like having buckets for your life. So having a bucket for your needs, having a bucket for experiences, having a bucket for giving, having a bucket for investing, for example. If you don't have a bucket or budgeting, how do you know how much you're spending a month? How do you know that this opportunity that comes your way is something that you can actually afford? How do you know that if someone asks you for money that you can actually afford to give them the money so that it doesn't end up eating into your bucket for bills? So I think budgeting is the most important thing. And it's even so important that because even if you make £1 million a month, if you don't budget, how do you know where things are going? How do you know that it's going to continue to be, a flow? So budgeting, a foundational money management tool
Mm.
that cannot be overlooked. Yeah, it sounds restrictive. Yeah, it sounds boring. But once you get that unlocked, no matter how much you earn, if you have percentages allocated to it, 50%, 30%, 20%, no matter how much you earn, it's always going to be bam, 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 bam. But without those percentages, you're messing about. And any storm that will come your way can just literally take you out because you don't even understand how to then tailor. Okay, cool, things are bad. Changing this to 20, to 30, to 50, changing this to 10, 70, 20, for example. So budgeting, so important. So important. Cannot be overlooked. Even if you earn £100 a day, £10 a day, budget. Once you have the budget, you'll be fine.
Literally.
Yeah.
So budget is simply what? The allocation of funds
Yeah.
and basically
For a purpose.
trying
in
to
different
create a gap
buckets.
between incoming and
Yeah.
outgoings.
This is it. Yeah. And it's even like, even if you have an ideal budget and you're not there yet. So let's say, for example, your bills are £5,000 a month. Let's say, for example, you've unfortunately have lifestyle creep. You bought into things that people that you shouldn't have bought into, and your bills are 5K a month. Even if you're not earning 20K a month, for that to make sense, have it as a target. That, okay, cool. I need to make so much amount of money, and I'm only here. I need to therefore know that I need to double down and get this money to here, so that that 5K a month is not a burden to my life. So again, budgeting is even helpful to like push you to know where you want to be. So yeah, it cannot be overlooked. Definitely important.
So what are the first steps when it comes to budgeting?
The first steps is so it's always I would say it depends on, again, everyone's situation is different. It always depends on where you are. If you're a fresh person, brand new 18-year-old, nothing to worry about. I'd always say just start with like your needs, your wants, and then maybe savings slash investments. Basic way to look at it is having 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and then 20% towards your savings. And then no matter how much you earn, 50% goes here, 30% goes here, 20% goes here. If you make it a habit, you're not fighting yourself. If you make it a habit, there's no need for discipline. If it's a habit, it's a habit. Once it's automatic, it's automatic. So that's the simplest way to start it. And again, no matter how much you earn, you stick to the rules, you will be fine. If you want to now mess about with it a little bit, it's only you that will know that you're messing about with it. And, whether you suffer from it it's all on you. But yeah, it's really helpful. And again, you don't want to think about bills or you don't want to have it in your mind. You want to think about how to create, how to, live life, how to enjoy your marriage or whatever. Just like other things that you want your mind to be consumed with. So having that will just help you forget about it. Just automate and forget. Super simple.
So what's the biggest reasons for money problems? Why are people broke? Why people don't make enough money?
I think, and again, I've listened to a lot of
Why people
Myron.
not making enough money?
I've listened to a lot of Myron Golden, so he's talked about it a lot. And I think like we're therefore programmed to be poor. And I think he's talked about like if you are broke, if you are misinformed, then you're easier to control.
Mm.
And I always say, in terms of like, if you're given a job opportunity and you have no money, you're probably going to take it no matter what the conditions are. So understanding that you want to know that there's something to push back against. You need to learn how to manage money. You need to learn about finances. If it's not at home, you weren't taught it at school, there's only so much complaining you can do. What you can do now is educate yourself, find out who to go to, and just learn. If you're 30 and you've not learned about money, you know that you probably need to like double down, because you're not a blank canvas if you're 30 or your money knowledge. You probably have incorrect information. So you need to now go against that, learn the truth, and reinforce the truth in your mind about money over and over and over and over again. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to be a month. It's going to take a very long time, depending on how much lies you've been told. So, again, the mindset education is the most important thing. That will just help you to avoid all these problems. Because not everyone has problems with money. And if they don't, they're not aliens. They just know how to manage it. So it's possible. There's always hope.
So then, what do you say to the 30-plus-year-olds that basically they're looking at their situation, and now it's easier to look like than to be. So all they want to do is look like rather than be.
Yeah.
What do you say to that?
I think about this all the time.
Because it's easier to look rich than be rich.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I think the most important thing, I think you have to resolve in yourself that you want to sleep at night and be happy with yourself. Not live with regret or not live a double life. Once you know that you want this, then work towards ensuring that when you go to bed at night with you and yourself, even if you're married and sleep with your wife, sleep with your husband, they're not going to be in your mind when you're there alone. You want to know, okay, cool, where I want to be is at peace with myself. Once you resolve that, then everything else can follow. But if you're not at that place yet where you're like, oh, I feel this way, or this friend or my mom, my dad makes me feel this way, then change is a lot more difficult. But once you resolve that, I want to be at peace with myself, in myself, within myself, then you can make a lot of progress. Of course, it will be difficult. Of course, there'll be a situation that will make it hard. But knowing that, I think, is the most important thing, because then you want to then also know that I want to be 60 at some point and not live with regrets. I don't want to what if. Oh, what if. I want to know that I did my best to better myself, to, live my dream, and to, be a good person and not, do madness in the world. So again, I think you have to first have that result to be like, cool, I want me and me to be cool. Because a lot of people don't have me and me as cool. A lot of people are just like moving in conflict within themselves. Once you have that resolve, then you're good to go and take all the difficult steps that needs to be taken, whether, it's against your school system, whether it's against the lies you've been told. All of that can be worked out if you resolve that you want to be at peace with yourself. Yeah, I think it's so important.
Yeah, because there seems to be, a group of people that they've looked at their current situation and they've said, look, it ain't going to get better. So let me just drown it all out with escapism. So rather than changing the foundations and making, the average a higher amount, I'd rather just, live for the weekends and do whatever on the weekends, but knowing that back to Monday to Friday, I'm going back to the life that I don't even want. I'm going back to conditions that I don't like. So I'll escape for
2 days,
the couple hours.
Yeah, literally.
And then it's back to square one again. So that's what I'm saying. What about them, Would you advise that, look, it's better to go through maybe a couple years of living well beneath your means so that you get to a point where, no, this is not escapism. This is my actual everyday life now.
Yeah, definitely. And because I think it always has to start mentally first. So even if, like, if you're in a bad place financially and you're given £1 million, it will not change your life if your mindset is incorrect.
Right.
So you ideally want to, like, again, have that result that I want to be at peace with myself. And one thing that does help is, of course, what you consume. So if you want to change your life, just watch different people. Stop watching what you used to watch and just change it all. So if, I don't know, you watch, entertainment, and nothing really matters, just change what you watch and who you listen to, something more meaningful. And then from there, slowly, you will start to see that you can actually change. Because if someone can do something then you can do it as well. As long as they're willing to give you the blueprint and tell you how to do it, then it can all be done. No one is like a superhuman above everyone else. If someone can do it, everyone can do it. And again, yeah, once you've got the mindset, then it's like, cool, do I need to live below my means? Do I need to live below my means? Do I need to downsize my house? Do I need to sell this car? Whatever it takes to make sure that I'm going to reach that place before I grow old and die, then you're going to be willing to do it once your mind is in the right place.
And like I said, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I think that people don't want to do whatever it takes for them.
Yeah.
And good example that I always give for this is, there's the guy that only needs to revise for 2 hours to get an A* in the exam. There's another guy that requires 16.
Yeah.
I think the problem people have is, if they are the person that requires 16, because there's a guy that only takes 2, why should I do 16? And therefore, they would rather not get the outcome that they're looking for because they have to do more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what I think that's why I call it doing what you have to do.
This is it.
It's a very case by case. Do you know what I mean? There's some people that, look, minimum effort they're gonna get because that's just they're just blessed like that. It's just that it's luck, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's other people that, like for you to get to the same desired outcome, which is maybe, let's say, financial freedom, this, that, and the other, you might have to work 2-3 jobs.
Yeah.
Like, I remember back in the days, I used to work like 3 jobs at the same time. Like, it had to be done. Do you know what I mean? It's like, look, if I want to achieve this thing that, you know, that someone else can maybe only work 1 job and get, then this is what it takes for me. So now the question is, are you willing to do what you personally have to do? Or are you just going to complain that you don't have what you want to have?
This is it. And I think is, again, like, I guess like it's all about, you know, valuing yourself, like knowing that I am valuable enough to fight for me. And not comparing yourself to someone where you're like, oh yeah, it took them 2 hours, it's going to take me 16. If you're worth it, you will do the 16, you'll do the 32, you'll do the 100 and whatever many hours because you know that you're worth it. And I think you have to have the right self-worth, the right self-belief to know that it's going to be worth it. Short-term pain for the long-term gain.
Literally.
And life is so complicated where it's like, even if you say, okay, cool, it takes them 2 hours, there's other things in their life that you don't know about. So you wouldn't substitute everything in their life for your life. So don't over compare yourself to other people. Focus on what you need to do. Again, as you said, like have that future plan and work backwards. And again, just do whatever it takes for yourself because you are valuable.
Cool.
If you're not valuable, then it's not worth it. But if you are valuable, then it's definitely worth it. And I believe everyone's valuable, so you should definitely fight for yourself.
Oh. And yeah, just so that people, you know, have something to take away. The concept that, you know, money is not everything. Remember, when you say money is not everything, you spend more than 8 hours a day chasing this thing that's not everything. So now, if money wasn't that important, why are you spending 40 hours a week looking for it? That's the first thing you should tell yourself. So it's more about, tell yourself the truth and be like, look, money is needed to function on this earth.
Yeah.
No doubt. If you're even a Christian, the Bible says that, you know, a father's meant to leave an inheritance for his children's children.
Yeah.
So you even have that one. Even if you look at the parable of the men with talents, one was given 1, one was given 2, another one was given 5. Those that multiplied, they got more.
Yeah.
The one that buried his, even that which he had was taken away. So
it's a word for real.
Even our cons, like, you know, this like over. It's like we're just lying. Like let's not lie to us. Like, you can't improve without telling the truth. Literally, you can't improve without telling the truth. You got to be honest first, so that you know where you stand. That way, you know where you're going. Yeah, you know,
so real.
And I just think that the mindset around money needs to change.
Yeah,
and you can't be good at something you haven't studied. A lot of people don't study money. They don't look into money. They just think it's just a given. They just think money is just there to pay bills. Think about it. Were you really put on the earth to just work and pay bills and die?
No.
Come on, man.
No one was.
Like, it can't just be that's all you're supposed to do. Work, pay bills, and die. And then it's just another group somewhere that's meant to actually use this money to get things moving and enjoy themselves.
We have to be real. You have to be honest with ourselves, honestly.
You know?
That's it at the end of the day.
And I don't think it's beyond anyone to like change. Your situation can always be changed.
Yeah.
Always. Now, again, what it takes for your situation and someone else's, the requirements might be different. But in terms of the ultimate outcome of a change, very possible. It's just, are you willing to do what you got to do? Now, that being said, is there anything that you want people to take away about, you know, money and just in general from what we've said?
Yeah. So one of the biggest things I've learned, and I learned this from Myron Golden again, is the truth that time is more valuable than money.
Absolutely.
What I think a lot of people struggle with is that they don't have the time to think.
Mm.
So as what we're talking about, if you've not thought about this for yourself, okay, cool. For example, let's say, I'm working 50 hours a week, I'm traveling 5 hours a week, and I'm only getting paid this amount. Is it actually worth it? A lot of people don't have time to sit down and like question themselves. So first of all, money is important. What you want to use money to do is to buy back your time,
Mm-hmm.
and then use time to almost to basically design your life. Okay, I want to live here. I want to do this. I don't like this. I want to delegate this. So and so and so forth. I want to spend more time with this person, that person, this person. That I want to travel here. I want to do this. I want to do that. Without the time to think, particularly in the UK, particularly in London, London will give you enough to do so that your mind is so consumed
Fully.
that 10 years have gone, 15. And I've been there. When I used to work, I used to work. I used to sleep 4 hours a day. I used to completely work and then study for the same job. Work, study, so that I had no time. Until I just had to stop. Well, thankfully, I realized at some point I was like, this is madness. Why am I like funneled into this tube carriage that everyone's in, rushing for, to get somewhere for 9 a.m. And what's the point? So I had to realize that, boy, we've unfortunately sold a lot of lies. What we need to do is discover the truth and push to fight for our time to continually learn, relearn, and then live the life that we want to live. Without it, just by default, the system will just take away your sense of what you want. It will swallow you, chew you, and then spit you out. So, yeah, man, time, fight for it. Fight for your time, please. It's so important.
Big one. Time is more important than money. And
100%.
that's one thing as well. I always wonder, when people want to save, like they want to save money to spend time. And it's like, don't you realize that money is like infinite? They print that.
This is
As
it.
for time, that is so finite. It's the most precious thing, precious resource on the planet. Why are you trying to save money and spend time?
And about that as well. So like, that we said they print money. Again, because we're not taught about it, a lot of people have no idea. Because again, people hear it, print money. But what are we actually saying?
Quantitative easing.
Literally, what we're saying is money can be generated for whatever purpose, for whatever reason, out of nothing. This can happen. And the first time I realized it is when the pandemic happened. What I was hearing before, and even I didn't really watch news, but what I was hearing before was austerity, cut. There's no money. When COVID happened, all of a sudden there was billions of pounds, furlough, bounce back loan. I was like, what? Something is wrong. And at the time, I still didn't get it, but I thought, you know what? Something ain't right. And that's why I was realizing, this whole printing money thing is real. Oh my goodness. Money's fake. Money is not real. But again, without education, you just won't know it. And you just continue to work for something that's not real.
Yeah, because
shocking.
That's the thing as well that I want people to really get into their heads. Your time is not, your hour ain't just worth 10. Why is your hour solely worth 10? There's somebody that their hour is 100 grand. Why is yours £10 an hour?
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you just need to change what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
You've already got the skill. Let's say you're a teacher, a school teacher, a doctor, someone that is good with paperwork, someone that understands contracts. You just need to be either teaching the right thing, teaching the right way.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Look at like online coaches. They're teaching, but somehow they're making 6 figures.
Easily.
Do you know what I mean?
Easily.
There are different types of doctors, surgeons. It's just which country are you doing it in?
And who are you serving?
And who are you serving?
The who's big. Oof.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, even take like what you're saying, being an accountant. There's someone that's doing the accounts for Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And just 1% of the accounts is different to, do you know what I mean?
A whole company.
Do you understand? We're doing the same work.
Yeah.
It's just who you're doing it for.
Yeah.
There's a guy that's selling Ford Focuses and there's a guy that's selling Rolls Royces. The guy that's selling Rolls Royces, he only has to sell 2 to make $1 million.
Literally.
Is it not him selling a car? He's not doing more work than the guy that's selling a Ford. It's just different demographic, different audience.
Yeah.
You know?
This is the thing that ideally we need to think about, have time to think about. But again, for most people, the way the city works in London, outside London, they will give us things to just overly distract and overstimulate us to just keep us away from thinking.
You're good with your hands.
Yeah.
The same effort that you could go into a trade. You could be an electrician and a plumber, and then boom, before you know it, the same work that you were doing maybe 9 to 5, you set up your own business. You're gonna make the same.
So much more.
It's like being a cleaner. There's the cleaner that's earning, £10 an hour or whatever, and then there's a person that owns the whole cleaning company.
This is it. Yeah.
So it's not necessarily this. It's just about leveraging that skill as best as possible.
Yeah.
Because someone will say, "Oh, why would I be a cleaner?" But somebody has a cleaning business.
Yeah. Making money that you would think no way. You'd think like no way,
right?
No way. You own a cleaning company. You're making that. You wouldn't believe it, but it's happening.
So it's not about the cleaning. It's about how and where are you positioned? How is it positioned? And through which way are you getting paid?
Yeah.
Being a cleaner on PAYE is different. Running a cleaning company and then you're the one that's doing the fulfillment, different as well.
Yeah. So yes, it's important, and hopefully, people can see and then begin to do the hard work of changing.
Yeah. So, what would be the one takeaway that you want people to have?
Education, financial education is so important. So again, if you're not born into it, you probably weren't taught it at school. Just seek it for yourself. Learn from those who actually know about it. And what you then want to do once you figure out money, buy back your time and then use the time to design the life you want. That's it.
Perfect. And for me, I would say figure out where it is that you want to be, count that cost, reverse engineer it, find out what are the feasible methods to attain that kind of ability to, meet that cost, and then see how your skill, which one of those things fit your skill set. And then decide that you're going to do what you have to do. Remember, it's not forever. This whole sacrifice under doing what you have to do the part that you don't want to do, you're not going to be doing it forever. But the earlier you start, the earlier you finish, and the sooner you get to where it is that you want to be. So, all in all, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning into Insight with Ayo. I'm sure you've received some good insights from the both of us.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. The more people that subscribe and like the video and the channel, the more guests that we can have, the better the stuff will be, and the more insight we can give you, and the more gems we can drop that are actually going to help you change your life. So overall, I'm Ayo.
I'm Joshua.
Peace out.